Imagine opening your eyes. Your muscles barely work. Your memories are gone. The room around you feels unfamiliar. And outside the window, there isn't a single thing that looks like home. No earth, no moon. No answers, just endless darkness. And somewhere in that darkness, the fate of humanity is waiting. This is Project Hail Mary. Ryland Grace wakes up inside a mysterious spacecraft with no idea who he is or how he got there. His body is weak, his mind is blank, and the only people with him are two crewmates who didn't survive the journey. As he struggles to stay alive, fragments of memory begin returning, one piece at a time. Each memory answers one question, while creating two more. And what he eventually remembers changes everything. Before any of this happened, Ryland Grace wasn't an astronaut. He wasn't a military hero. He wasn't even working in space. He was simply a middle school science teacher, a man who once dreamed of changing the world through education. Long before that, he'd been a molecular biologist. Ironically, those forgotten years would become humanity's greatest hope. It all began with a discovery that no one could explain. Scientists noticed a strange infrared trail stretching from the sun toward Venus. At first, it seemed like nothing more than an unusual astronomical phenomenon. Then the data kept getting worse. The sun was slowly losing its energy, not because it was dying naturally, but because something was feeding on it. A microscopic alien lifeform, later named astrophage. Every day, billions of these organisms absorbed more of the sun's energy. The change was tiny, almost impossible to notice. But mathematics doesn't lie. If nothing stopped them, Earth would freeze, harvests would fail, civilizations would collapse, billions would die. For the first time in human history, every nation faced the same enemy. Not another country, not another ideology, an invisible organism drifting through space. An international task force was created, bringing together the brightest scientific minds on Earth. That's when Grace was recruited, not because he was famous, but because he understood something few others did: the possibility that life didn't have to resemble anything found on Earth. During his research, Grace uncovered an astonishing truth. Astrophage wasn't merely surviving. It was storing unimaginable amounts of energy, then releasing it for propulsion. It was essentially a living superfuel, the greatest energy source humanity had ever discovered. And suddenly, a mission that once seemed impossible became barely possible. A spacecraft named Hail Mary was built. Its destination? The Tau Ceti system. Nearly 12 light-years away, it was the only nearby star untouched by astrophage. If scientists could discover why, Earth might still have a chance. There was just one problem. The mission had no return ticket. The crew knew they would never come home. Their only legacy would be the information they managed to send back. Back in the present, Grace continues repairing the ship while piecing together his shattered memories. Then, something appears on the radar. At first, it seems impossible. Then impossible becomes reality. Another spacecraft. Not human. Not even remotely familiar. Humanity is no longer alone. Inside waits one of the most unforgettable characters in modern science fiction. A five-legged alien engineer, whom Grace simply calls Rocky. At first, communication is impossible. Their atmospheres are poisonous to one another. Their senses work differently. Their languages have nothing in common. Everything says these two should remain strangers. Instead, they become friends. One experiment at a time. One translated sentence at a time. One shared laugh at a time. Watching them slowly bridge the gap between two civilizations becomes one of the film's most rewarding journeys. Because friendship doesn't require speaking the same language. It only requires understanding. Rocky reveals a shocking truth. His civilization is fighting the exact same crisis. Their own star is being consumed by astrophage. Suddenly, this mission is no longer about saving one planet, it's about saving two worlds. Together, Grace and Rocky begin investigating a nearby planet whose atmosphere seems strangely resistant to astrophage. What they discover there could change the future of both civilizations. Hidden inside the planet's atmosphere is an entire microscopic ecosystem, and among those tiny organisms, they find something extraordinary. A natural predator, a life form that feeds on astrophage itself. Grace names it Tomiba. For the first time since the crisis began, hope becomes real. But in space, hope never comes easily. During a dangerous mission to collect additional samples, everything goes wrong. The Hail Mary loses control. The ship spins violently through space. Grace is thrown unconscious. For Rocky, the choice is impossible. Entering Grace's environment could kill him. Doing nothing guarantees his friend's death. Without hesitation, he chooses friendship over safety. Rocky risks everything. He saves Grace, but pays for it with devastating injuries. Sometimes, the greatest acts of heroism happen when nobody is watching. While Rocky recovers, Grace works tirelessly to perfect Tomiba. If he can adapt it to survive near Venus, Earth can finally be saved. Then, his final forgotten memory returns. And it's nothing like he expected. When the original science crew died, Grace was offered their place. He refused. He was terrified. He wanted to live. He wanted to stay home. But Eva Stratt understood something he couldn't. Humanity had run out of options. Believing only Grace could finish the mission, she made the most controversial decision imaginable. She had him sedated and launched into space against his will. The reluctant teacher became humanity's last hope, whether he wanted it or not. Eventually, the work is finished. The cure exists. Grace and Rocky prepare to part ways. After everything they've endured together, their goodbye feels less like two co-workers separating and more like brothers saying farewell. Each begins the journey home, or so they believe, because fate has one final test waiting. Grace discovers that Tomiba has evolved. It escapes containment and begins consuming the astrophage fuel powering his ship. He manages to stop the outbreak. Then the horrifying realization hits him. Rocky's ship is built from the very material Tomiba can escape through. By now, the infection has almost certainly spread. Rocky isn't going home. His fuel will disappear. His people will die. Grace has one chance, one impossible decision: return to Earth or save the friend who saved him. This time, there's no hesitation. He turns the ship around, not for glory, not for recognition, but because true friendship demands action, even when nobody else will ever know. Before changing course, Grace launches unmanned probes carrying every research log and every Tomiba sample back toward Earth. His mission to save humanity is complete. His personal journey is only beginning. Years later, those probes finally arrive. Scientists successfully eliminate the astrophage threat. The sun recovers. Earth survives. Humanity gets a future because one man refused to give up. Grace never returns home. Instead, he builds a new life on Rocky's world. The Iridians construct a habitat where he can survive, and the teacher who once inspired children on Earth finds himself standing in front of another classroom. Only this time, his students aren't human. They're curious young aliens, eager to learn from the man who crossed the stars. One day, Rocky tells him that the Hail Mary may eventually be repaired for a return journey. Grace smiles. Maybe he'll go home someday. Maybe home is no longer a place. Maybe it's the people willing to stand beside you when the universe feels impossibly large. Project Hail Mary is more than a story about science. More than a story about survival. It's a reminder that courage isn't born from fearlessness. It's born from choosing hope, choosing friendship, and choosing to do the right thing, even when the entire universe is watching.